Prosecuting burning of the American flag. August 25, 2025. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Section 1. Purpose. Our great American flag is the most sacred and cherished symbol of the United States of America, and of American freedom, identity, and strength. Over nearly 2.5 centuries, many thousands of American patriots have fought, bled, and died to keep the stars and stripes waving proudly. The American flag is a special symbol in our national life that should unite and represent all Americans of every background and walk of life. Desecrating it is uniquely offensive and provocative. It is a statement of contempt, hostility, and violence against our nation, the clearest possible expression of opposition to the political union that preserves our rights, liberty, and security. Burning this representation of America may incite violence and riot. American flag burning is also used by groups of foreign nationals as a calculated act to intimidate and threaten violence against Americans because of their nationality and place of birth. Notwithstanding the Supreme Court's rulings on First Amendment protections, the court has never held that American flag desecration conducted in a manner that is likely to incite imminent lawless action or that is an action amounting to fighting words is constitutionally protected. See Texas v. Johnson, 491 U.S. 397, 408-10, 1989. My administration will act to restore respect and sanctity to the American flag and prosecute those who incite violence or otherwise violate our laws while desecrating this symbol of our country to the fullest extent permissible under any available authority. Sec. 2. Measures to combat desecration of the American flag. The Attorney General shall prioritize the enforcement to the fullest extent possible of our nation's criminal and civil laws against acts of American flag desecration that violate applicable, content-neutral laws while causing harm unrelated to expression, consistent with the First Amendment. This may include, but is not limited to, violent crimes, hate crimes, illegal discrimination against American citizens, or other violations of American civil rights, and crimes against property and the peace, as well as conspiracies and attempts to violate, and aiding and abetting others to violate, such laws. B. In cases where the Department of Justice or another executive department or agency determines that an instance of American flag desecration may violate an applicable state or local law, such as open burning restrictions, disorderly conduct laws, or destruction of property laws, the agency shall refer the matter to the appropriate state or local authority for potential action. C. To the maximum extent permitted by the Constitution, the Attorney General shall vigorously prosecute those who violate our laws in ways that involve desecrating the American flag, and may pursue litigation to clarify the scope of the First Amendment exceptions in this area. D. D. The Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and the Secretary of Homeland Security, acting within their respective authorities, shall deny, prohibit, terminate, or revoke visas, residence permits, naturalization proceedings, and other immigration benefits, or seek removal from the United States, pursuant to federal law, including 8 U.S.C. 1182, 8 U.S.C. 1424, 8 U.S.C. 1427, 8 U.S.C. 1451c, and 8 U.S.C. 1227, whenever there has been an appropriate determination that foreign nationals have engaged in American flag desecration activity under circumstances that permit the exercise of such remedies pursuant to federal law. Sec. 3. Severability. If any provision of this order, or the application of any provision to any person or circumstance, is held to be invalid, the remainder of this order and the application of its provisions to any other persons or circumstances shall not be affected thereby. Sec. 4. General provisions. Nothing in this order shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect I. The authority granted by law to an executive department or agency, or the head thereof, or e. The functions of the Director of the Office of Management and Budget relating to budgetary, administrative, or legislative proposals. B. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. C. This order is not intended to, and does not, create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable a law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employees, or agents, or any other person. D. The costs for publication of this order shall be borne by the Department of Justice. Donald J. Trump. The White House. August 25, 2025.
You're not pissed off. You don't feel betrayed. You're now going to go into protection mode because you want to feel good about what you're doing in terms of being a Trump supporter. You're not going to condemn this, right? You're not going to say, how dare he? You're not going to say, my God, what is he doing? You're going to say, well, you know what? I really want to support this guy. I want to do everything that I possibly can to feel good about this guy. So I'm going to excuse that That's called a freedom of speech. That doesn't mean anything. There's only one reason that freedom of speech means. It's only one thing it does. It means that you can do it without going to jail. So you could say anything you want. You could say anything you want all the time, anywhere. And you will not go to prison for what you say and how you portray yourself and what your beliefs are. You don't go to prison for that. And one of those things is in the way you show your feelings towards something is if you burn the American flag, right? That's called a freedom of speech. If you don't like that, that's your business. If you like it, then that's your business also. Look. Teen Just says, it's not speech. You see?
Imagine
you see what I'm talking about?
Fucking dumb.
He's making an excuse for Donald Trump because he's a MAGA DUI.
He has no idea about the First Amendment. He doesn't
This is
even
why it's
understand
very
freedom of
difficult, ladies and
expression
gentlemen, to not call
and
him
the
names.
executive order.
I mean, I'm trying though, okay?
Explains
He's a MAGA
that it
DUI.
is when you
Because
burn
he
a flag
says
that incites
in
violence,
his attempt
you
to protect
go to
Donald
jail
Trump,
for 1
because
year.
he thinks that I'm just as DUMB as he.
You're
I'm
dumb.
not, obviously. He expects for me to be as DUMB as he, except. So he's trying to push, well, it's not really speech, though. It's not really speech, is it really? You know, we should let him do that. We should let him do that. That's not that bad. You see how this
I tried to
works?
get this guy in a voice call and
That's
he
what they
banned
do.
me.
They do that all the time too. For MAGA, by the way, that think that they didn't take away Medicaid. This is another thing that they did.
They took it away from
Donald
illegal
Trump
aliens.
took away Medicaid.
That's a
Listen to
vastly
this
different
guy
thing,
actually tell you
which has
that's what
nothing to
they
do with
did,
the
watch.
executive order about burning the flag.
The problem